Greetings, this is part 3 on the messages to the 7 churches, part 2 on the positive attributes. We begin today by looking at Smyrna. So in Revelation 2:9 it says, I have known your particular tribulation and your particular extreme poverty. Nevertheless, you are wealthy. And I have known the blasphemy of the ones saying themselves to be Jews, and they are not. Rather, they are a synagogue of Satan. The word tribulation here means pressure or affliction. 2 Timothy 3:12 has become a vital verse in my Christian walk, and I believe it will be for yours too if you grasp hold of the concept. Paul talks about all the things God had delivered him out of. I think in reference back to what the psalmist said about God delivering us out of all our troubles. He said, God delivered me out of all mine, and he said, yea or yes, and all that will, all that desire to live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. That's a future emphatic. If we are desiring in the present tense to do God's will, there will be pressure, there will be tribulations, there will be trials, there will be obstacles that must be overcome. And then there's a contrast given between poverty and wealth in regard to the church in Smyrna. Poverty, materially and temporally, the idea is they had to live as beggars. But spiritually, it says they were wealthy ones. Eternally, they would live as kings. I find it fascinating that the Christians of today desire to have this principle inverted. They seek prosperity preachers who advocate wealth now, which will leave one in poverty later. Then we go to Pergamos in chapter 2, verse 13, where it says, I have known where you are dwelling, where the throne of Satan is, and you're holding fast my particular name. And you denied not my particular faith, even in the days of my faithful martyr Antipas, who was brutally slain in your presence, where the Satan he is dwelling. They were commended because they held fast his name, even though they were dwelling in the middle of Satan's home base of operations. He said, you have not denied, disowned my faith, even in martyrdom and the constant threats of it. To deny is the active denial. To disown in the passive may mean merely failure to own up to. Mark chapter 8, verse 38 says, whosoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. Then the message to Thyatira, the positive attribute in Revelation 2:19 is, I have known the works and the love and the faith and the service, and your particular steadfast endurance, and your last particular works, many more than the first works. Now, charity is the Greek word agape, which means love and grace, thoroughly mixed, so thoroughly mixed one ensures the other, and I believe it really correlates to our modern word benevolence. Second is the Greek word service, which is from diakonos, which is we transliterated to get the word deacon. This has to do with the ministration or service of the benevolence referenced above. Faith is the regular Greek word for trust in Christ and is used for the system of beliefs, doctrines, and practices which Jesus charged us to observe in Matthew 28:20. And as we're studying in the morning times in Jude verse 3, beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith which was once for all delivered unto the saints. Patience, again, means endurance in these efforts, and works is the word ergon. We get our word energy from it, the discharging of energy. He says the last or latter works of this church would be more than her first works. This denotes a continual work
and a constant progress in that work. There was no resting upon their laurels in Thyatira. Remember, the laurel wreath was the victor's crown in that day. Therefore, they were not content with the rewards for yesterday's labors. They were interested in earning rewards for today's labors.